Good morning, everybody. We have got a few people signed up for this morning's session, so I'm just going to wait a couple of seconds to let people join. You might have seen me 1,000 times now on various webinars with North Yorkshire County Council, but for those that don't know me, my name is Gillian Askew, and I am one of the directors and co-founders of an organisation called Go for Growth. And our job with North Yorkshire County Council is to support the approved provider list procurement from a process perspective for the adult social care procurement that's going on. Just in terms of housekeeping as we get started, the session is being recorded today. As always, a copy of the recording will be posted out onto the Go for Growth LinkedIn and Facebook pages. So if there's anything that you want to pick up on afterwards, that will be available to you. If not today, at the very latest tomorrow. So keep an eye out on that. We put these drop-in sessions together really just to give, and they're weekly. So we've got one today and we've got another one planned for next week. And if we need them, we can add to them after next week. But we put them together in essence to give providers and aspiring providers just a place where you could literally drop in once a week and ask any questions that you might have. So please, the floor is open today. If you can use either the chat or the Q&A function just to put any questions over my way that you have, and I will try and answer them. If there is anything that isn't process related and is technically related, please do feel free to ask if you want to. The FAQ has gone out, so there's lots of questions and answers already in the FAQ. But if you do have a question that I can't answer or that should go through clarification questions, we can do one of two things. I can either point you in the direction of the clarification process, or I can put the question to North Yorkshire County Council. But I'll take any questions that the floor might have today. Before I do that, before I open up for Q&A, and do please feel free to pop stuff in the Q&A as I'm chatting, please don't feel you have to wait. I will just run through an update that I did yesterday on the Care Connected webinar. So apologies if you were on that yesterday as well, you will get this information twice, but I did just want to cover the recent change. So let me just move my slides on. So you will probably have seen an update from North Yorkshire County Council. I know it's been posted on the North Yorkshire Partnerships page, and I think there was a communication that went out. These slides will also be going on our LinkedIn and Facebook today or tomorrow, but there has been a change to the project reference. So the initial project reference was 53836. That has now changed for 54565. And there is a link in the slide deck, and I'll post the link live onto LinkedIn as well. There's a link to the new project reference in EU Supply Your Tender. Practically what that means is that any application submissions or clarification questions from here on in must now be submitted through that project reference 54565. So if you have already submitted an application to be evaluated, you will need to resubmit that through the new project reference. Now, I know that feels like you're doing things twice, but actually the good news is nothing has changed in the process. And so it is a copy and paste over of what you've already done and a hit of the button again. But you will need to resubmit again. So if you have already submitted, please do redo that as soon as you would like to. Any clarification questions that have already been asked and answered or have already been asked will be transposed over to the new project reference, but any new clarification questions will need to go through that reference number 54565. They won't get picked up on the old reference number. So if you do have questions, make sure that you're asking them through the right project reference. And the closing date for initial applications for the first round of the approved provider list is 12 noon on the 22nd of July 2022. So that has been updated, and it is a little bit, it's about 24 hours longer than we initially thought. So apologies to anyone that heard me update yesterday. That date is actually the 22nd of July, not the 21st. It's 12 noon on the 22nd of July to submit your application in this first round of the approved provider list. So hopefully that is clear from a practical perspective what that change in project reference actually means. all the way throughout these processes before the procurement went live and whilst it's live, we have support available to providers. So there's really 3 types of support that you can tap into. So through Go for Growth, you can come to the drop-in sessions like today, and we've got a number of providers on the session today. So there is today's session and there is another planned session next week. And subject to your feedback, actually, we can continue to put those in place on a weekly basis right the way until the procurement actually closes on the 22nd of July. But we'll take your guidance from that. In lieu of and in addition to the drop-in sessions, we have one-to-one sessions that are available also. So if you would prefer to talk to us on a one-to-one basis and chat through any questions you might have when you're pulling your application and submission together, our one-to-one sessions are bookable through the link on the screen that you can see. And again, I'll post that live link onto LinkedIn later. You can book with either myself or my colleague Lauren, and we will do everything that we can to help you. If there is, as I say, a technical question that we can't answer, we'll either direct you to the clarification process or we'll put the question to North Yorkshire for it to be included in the FAQ. And the FAQ is the other support that's out there for you. We are on version 6 of the frequently asked questions document. That is posted on the North Yorkshire Partnerships page. So if you're an existing provider, you have access to it through there. If you're not an existing provider, it is on the Go for Growth LinkedIn page, and it has also been emailed out to everybody that's registered to one of the events that we've run. So there are multiple ways that everybody, regardless of whether you're a current provider or not, can get access to the FAQs. If in doubt, though, please do feel free to drop me or Lauren an email. I'm Jill at goforgrowth.co.uk and my colleague Lauren is Lauren at goforgrowth.co.uk, or you can book a one-to-one session. And if you've got any further questions following FAQ answers, you can always give us a shout. The other thing to say is around the submission process itself. We do just want to remind providers that this will be a live evaluation process. So what North Yorkshire hope to be able to do is evaluate as the procurement is live. So once you submit the documents, there is a chance that your submission will be evaluated pretty quickly soon after. And what that means is, whilst you would normally in a procurement submit and the authority wouldn't look at that until the closing date, and therefore you could retract it and resubmit it. In this case, you may well have an evaluation process that happens straight after. So when you're submitting, only submit once all of the documents have been uploaded and you're happy that it is a full and final version of your application. Once you hit submit, then it may well be evaluated. So just have that in your mind when you're actually submitting your application for any of the approved provider lists, that you need to be happy that it is the one that you want to put in. And our contact details are on the screen. As I said, Jill at goforgrowth.co.uk and Lauren at goforgrowth.co.uk. Both our mobile numbers are on there as well. You can get in touch with either of us. If you use the Microsoft booking link that's on the screen now, it will give you an option to choose either mine or Lauren's calendar. Feel free to pick either. It should only let you book slots that are available. So please do feel free to use all of those support processes that are there for you. And that was really what I wanted to just update everybody on today. And so I will just take any questions from anyone that's on the session this morning. It doesn't matter what the question is. Please feel free to ask it in chat anonymously if you want to, or through the Q&A anonymously if you want to. But please do put your questions to me now. And I'll give it a couple of minutes. This session isn't fixed to 45 minutes, so we'll stay as long as we need to answer all the questions. And if there aren't any questions today, in addition to the update that I've given, then we will close the session and give everybody the time back. But over to you guys now. If there's anything that you want to ask, please do pop it on the chat or the Q&A and I'll have a look. Hopefully everybody has had a chance to download the documents and have a read through. We've had a number of sessions already with commissioners and procurement from North Yorkshire. So if you go to the Go for Growth LinkedIn page, you'll be able to see lots of video recordings and slide decks from previous events. So we've had an event that was specifically for the voluntary sector. We've had a process event for everybody about EU supply, your tender, the qualification process, threshold questions. We ran 4 service-specific webinars, so 1 for each of the approved provider lists. And we also had a session last Thursday that was super well attended, where Hannah and Tim from North Yorkshire went through the quality section and pricing section of the approved provider list application form. So if you haven't been to any of those and that's the information that you would like, the place to go would be the Go for Growth LinkedIn page. Excuse me. If you've attended any of the events, those things should have been emailed out to you, but there is lots of information on our LinkedIn page attributed to the APL. So please do feel free to have a look. And like I say, if there's anything that you need that you can't find easily, pick up the phone and call either myself or Lauren, or drop us an email, or book one of the one-to-one sessions, or of course you can ask today. I'm not seeing any chats or Q&A coming through, so we'll just give it another few seconds just to see if anybody has anything. Let me have a look. Okay. Amy, you tried to book a one-to-one session, but the email address is not being found. Yes, of course. Let me, I will type the answer for everyone here. So if you want to call either myself or Lauren, I'll pop, in fact, if I pop on screen our details. So here are our contact details. So feel free, Amy or anyone else, to use those mobile details there, or our email addresses if they're one-to-one, if you're struggling to book them. I will have a look and just see what's going on with that. We are getting plenty of them through, so I'll just have a double check and see if there's anything untoward going on there. But do feel free to use the information that's on the screen, get in touch with us. Okay, and I've just got a question on the annual uplift. So can we give some information on how the annual uplifts will work? How can we factor this in when submitting rates? So there is a pricing related question, and I genuinely don't know the answer to that. So what I'll do is I will send that answer over to North Yorkshire County Council. We'll ask for an answer back from them on it, and we'll add that to the next version of the FAQ, and we'll also add it to the clarification questions which you're able to get through the portal. So we'll make sure that that gets answered as soon as possible through CQs and on the next version of the FAQ as well. And hopefully that's okay. So I'll just give it a couple of seconds to see if there are any more questions. If not, let me just keep that contact details on screen. And there's nothing else coming through just now. So I know everyone is super busy, so I won't keep us all on the call. The deadline for applying is the 22nd of July at 12 p.m. That's the deadline for this round. And so what North Yorkshire have been saying actually that is also important, this will open again, and what they're thinking is that it will reopen every quarter, and in between that time, if there is a need that needs to be fulfilled by somebody who is not on the approved provider list, you will be able to apply at that point that you are answering a need. So the deadline for this round is the 22nd of July at 12 p.m. So let me just, in fact, I think it is on there. Yeah, 12 noon on the 22nd of July, 2022 is the deadline for this round. My advice would always be as well, because this is an online application and you're uploading things to a platform, my advice is never to leave it to the last minute. There's not often technical hitches, but they do happen. I would, if you are ready to go before 12 noon on the 22nd of July, feel free to submit at your leisure. If you are waiting until the deadline, then that's fine. Just give yourself some time to make sure that it can actually work and that you can get in touch with North Yorkshire if there is a technical problem. So my advice is to leave at least an hour, more if you can, that morning if you are submitting on the final day, just to give yourself some time in case anything does happen. But the deadline itself is 12 noon on the 22nd of July. Well, hopefully that's been a helpful session. If there is anything else, you have our contact details. I'll say it again, I know I've said it a few times today, but do feel free to get in touch with either myself or Lauren with any questions that you've got. As with the uplifts, if we can't answer it, we will take it to North Yorkshire, or it can go through the clarification questions, whichever works, where we know what we can and can't answer. So feel free to pose any questions to us. Just before I leave us, there was just one thing that came up on Care Connected yesterday. Julie, who chairs the Care Connected session, had said that some providers had been contacted by other organisations offering to support their application to the APLs, but with a cost involved. Obviously, it is your choice as an organisation to take whatever support is right and relevant for you. But just so as you are aware, any support that we give you through Go for Growth is fully funded. There is no cost to you. North Yorkshire County Council have paid for that. And that's in support of their marketplace. So please do come to us for anything that you need. Any of the support that we give is free of charge. There's no cost. And I think that's it from us today. So we'll close the session just there. Please get in touch. Thank you so much for taking time out to come and see us. And hopefully we'll see you as soon as possible. Come next week to the next drop-in session, or get in touch a different way if you would like to. Speak to you soon. Thank you everyone for coming.